Hello audience. Hi. So I'm back after 2 weeks, I guess, and I would like I would like today for today's discussion, or not. It's not a discussion, but it's rather a piece of information, wherein we had been saying this demand and supply things from lots of people. We have heard it from the Nirmala Sitharaman. We have heard it from Professor Abhijit Banerjee that we need to restore our demand in the market so that we can start supplying it and people will start getting the jobs. So, in all this circus, in all this demand and supply based circus, where what the essential thing what we are missing is we have seen a problem of unprecedented demand and adulterated supply, especially if we are living in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai to the extent no, but Hyderabad or in Pune. In all these cities, we have seen this unprecedented demand, and then the supply is going after it and fulfilling their needs. So, for our today's discussion and thought-provoking points, we'll discuss this: what is unprecedented demand and how we are fulfilling it with the adulterated supply. Now, to start with, uh, I would like to be very thankful to our Honorable Prime Minister and a very successful Delhi Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who had delivered so many things in a very short span of time, in a very revolutionary way, and we have a very hope towards him. So and then it's not from any political agenda. So it has nothing to do with the app. It has nothing to do with the chief minister. But I'm just showing my gratitude towards him. Now, coming to what we are on a bigger picture, what we are going to see in this slide. Before I know it might be this video will get somewhere like 10 minutes or 12 minutes, but what essentially we'll see it's important to know. Otherwise, so that I can get you stick around. Now, in this video, you will see that how this unprecedented demand generation happens. What were the scenarios then, now, and now after? So we'll see that. We'll see the unprecedented demand and how we were handling it. What is the extra we need to do to handle it? And then to meet this demand, are we adulterating our supply? So if we are doing it, how we were doing it, and what exactly the supply chain means. And then and see, I agree that everyone knows what is demand and the supply chain industry, but this is not where my point is. My point is the unprecedented demand being fulfilled with the adulterated supply. So how to deal with it is the last thing we'll see, that how to deal with this adulterated supply. Now moving to the next slide. All right, so I will have to I will have to give you a few scenarios like how we were in the month of January. We were wishing everyone a happy new year or a very fulfilling, fun and rewarding new year. And then because we have the comfort of it, because we have the Uber on our phone, what we were doing, we want to go to the office, just do a couple of swipe on the phone on the Uber app, and then the Uber comes to your doorstep, and then you get into it comfortably. You can listen to your song, you can play with your laptop, or you can work on your laptop, you can attend a meeting, and then you are heading towards your office. Then before you get into your office, there is a bottleneck. There is a bottleneck everywhere. There is a bottleneck in Delhi, Gurgaon border. We call it the Gurgaon toll, the Gurgaon MCT toll, where every car comes and then they stop. Then in Noida, it happens the same. We have the Sector 18 market, labor chowk, where everybody comes and then they get choked. In Bangalore, we see the same at the Marthalli, we see the same at the marble factory. In Chennai, we see the same at the Solinganallur, where or the Mount Punamalli road, where the people comes, but they get stuck before they get into the office. So the demand which was generated in the Monday morning, when there was an unprecedented demand for a vehicle, for an Uber, Uber tried to ensure that it meets the demand. But even if the before we drop the customer to the office, even if this gets adulterated with the supply chains, like crossing the borders, crossing the roads, if it gets delayed by MCD tolls or by some kind sort of tolls, it gets adulterated. Because I boarded the cab at 9, I haven't reached my office by 11:30, 2 hours I spent in the traffic. So the end purpose is not met. So the first use case is talk about the unprecedented demand generated by a comfortable lifestyle, where I don't want to take my car out, I just want to Uber it, and then I get stuck, and the final purpose is not met. That was the month of January. Okay. Now this was something, one scenario of the unprecedented demand. If I will take you to the month of April, the first week of April, now I'm moving to the next demand generation. How it happens during the pandemic. If let's say the COVID, the coronavirus disease 2019, which is in the short form we say the COVID-19, when these sort of pandemic hits the same market, what happens? It's an unavoidable situation. Nobody has the readiness. The entire world never had the readiness. So what happened? Everything was made in China. The world reacted like boycott it or produce it. So before you boycott it, should we produce it, or should we produce it and then boycott it? It's a catch-22 situation. So we cannot avoid them. But then the very essential supplies like the ventilators, and imagine the infrared thermometers. We have thermometers like where we knock it off so that the mercury goes down, and then it can again be ready for the temperature measuring. So imagine the China's has developed the infrared thermometer, which has suddenly into the Indian market and throughout the world. I don't know before COVID if anyone would have seen the infrared thermometers. I mean, I was in the US, you had to put it on your head so that it can measure it. So, see, the world, I mean, I don't want to get into those discussions, but the point is the ventilators, infrared thermometers, and then gloves, masks, gown, PP kits, nothing were made in the India. Everything is made in China, and the world has accepted it. And now world is understanding the importance of manufacturing it in-house. So where are we heading towards? We'll see it later. But right now, the deputy doctors and the policemen are the frontline workers, so they have become very vulnerable. Some of them dying as well. And the people of India is looking towards their state chief minister. Like people in Delhi look towards the Kejriwal, people in Mumbai look towards the Uddhav. And the CM is looking towards the PM for the funds that give us the money. So the thing is, it's a chain of reaction. So in this point, what I'm trying to say is this is our current situation in which the solution is long term, but the demand generation has happened, which was unprecedented. So there's two situations in which the demand can be generated unprecedented way. Monday morning 9 to 11:30, because of your comfortable lifestyle, you can demand it, you can generate a demand. Or if you are hit by a disease, and it's very sadistic to say, but the Delhi had been very prone to the mosquito-borne diseases like dengue, chikungunya, etc. And still our readiness was on our knees. I mean, we were always on our knees. So let's not talk about any negative in this. We'll always talk about the positive. I mean, what we can do. So how we can handle this situation is solely dependent on the how the Atmanirbhar Bharat will get to its implementation. If this Atmanirbhar Bharat, whatsoever money is being spent on this, if it gets to its real implementation, we could see a different world. But before we see the different world, and to the Nasik to buy the, or we never go to the Mahabaleshwar to buy the strawberries. It's just that we visit the nearest store. So the consumer doesn't even know about the adulteration has happened during this chain of reactions. Now, what worries me the worst, and how I came up with this, is like you adulterate the watermelon. I mean, this is insane. This is inhumane, because watermelon you sell it during the summer. There are a couple of months in which you sell the watermelon. What's the point of adulterating it? What's the point in it? I don't understand, but yeah, there is a point, because we have this is the link from the YouTube. You go and put your search queries. Adulteration in eggs. The 2 point, the watermelon and the eggs, when they started getting adulterated, this has driven this phenomenon. I mean, I don't find myself good to buy any stuff from the market unless I know this supply chain. I want to know someone to let me know. I am a customer, I am buying from Reliance Smart, Easy Day or more. I want to know where this was stored, where this was manufactured. If it's not was manufactured, then it is coming from the suppliers. And even if the supplier is directly getting into the store, I want to know about it. I mean, who was the farmer, who were the farmers, who were the manufacturers, who were the warehouses, who had adulterated these kind of supplies like cooking oils, food, or vegetables, jaggery, imagine, gur. I mean, can you believe it? Honey, which never gets adulterated in the nature, you are adulterating it in your supply chain. So somebody has to take the responsibility of it, right? This is where my point lies. That who is responsible, how will I figure out? I am a consumer. I don't know, but yeah, let's see this. This is small chart. We are consuming plastic rice, hell. Artificial eggs, hell towards it. I mean, the person should burn in the hell who is producing it. Overgrown chickens given antibiotics, overgrown, large legs, watermelon, mangoes, which are just a seasonal food, potatoes, oranges, etc. I mean, the list goes very bottom of it. I mean, I have a list of 150 items which is started from here. But where we buy all this stuff is majorly from the big bazaar, Rajdhani, Easy Day, More, Reliance Fresh, and or etc. It's a local shops. Shuffle is a good example. Where are the warehouses? I mean, where they are coming from? I don't know, but because I agree that I haven't done enough research. I'm sorry if your name is flashes here, but if you're not involved, I'm very sorry for it. But what I know is the Azadpur Mandi, Gazipur Mandi, and the service provider, and there's some few of the enterprises and involved in this, in meeting this manufacturer to the stores and getting the things delivered. So the warehouse is the mediator. Now, so manufacturers like the MDH. In the last videos we have the adulteration turmeric powder. Who does it? Turmeric, is it something to be adulterated for any given point of time? It's so expensive. We consume 250 grams in a month. It is so expensive that the consumer cannot buy a unadulterated turmeric powder now. But the point is, we do it for the sake of we bypassing this chain. So I don't know, even if this chain has been started, organic tattwa and etc. has been started buying from the organic farmers and delivering to the consumers, but I still don't believe the organic farm tattwa delivers the right content, because it's a, you see, adulterated supply what we buy, MSP is what the supplier gets, and this entire three pillars is the margin flow. I mean, if these things comes to here, 10 rupees gets 20, 20 gets 40, 40 gets 60, and we buy it 100. So we buy it 100, but even after the, so what's level of this strategy is, I mean, even if I can get, even if I can pay 100 rupees to the farmers and get the unadulterated supply, I would be very happy for it. That's the intent of this video. Now we have seen the problem. We all can correlate with it. Now let's see what we can do. I mean, what we can do. We can do as much as we can. What we need is the money. But what government can do is unlimited. So I'm letting this opportunity go to the government. Government should create a portal like Amazon, where the essential supply chain, from last 3 months we are hearing this is essential, this is not essential, books are not essential, foods are essential, onions are essentials. There is a huge list of essential and non-essential items. You got it right. Government has understood it. What is essential? Let's have the supply chain for the essential items. Let's not talk about delivering it through the ration card. I'm not talking about it. But for a bare minimum price and a profitable margin. I'm not saying this should have to be this supply, this guide, because it will be gigantic. Creating something like Amazon is not so easy for the Delhi government or the central government, but they can do it as well. How they can do it is there could be two intent: profit, not profit. Let's go with the profit. Let's have the profit. At least give us the information from whom I'm buying. What, let's say if I'm buying from the Haryana farmers, I'm buying adulterated supply. Let's say if I'm buying from the UP farmers, I'm buying adulterated supply. I can decide between them, right? Give us the choice at least. Let's not set up anything, but in the worst case, if not anything is given, let's at least know the suppliers for us. Who supplies whom? Government knows this. Government has enough infrastructure, FSSI, etc., etc., etc. The food inspector, the adulterated inspector. So, what I want to say, I want to end this in a very optimistic way. I have a very high faith in Delhi government, since they have curb on the unadulterated educations and the health supplies. They had a very good control on it, and I see them very from very optimistic perspective that they should protect us from the profit seekers in the retail industry. So I want the this is the end. I mean, we know this is the end. Now what I want is that I want my government to protect us, to protect the people of India from the profit seekers and delivering the adulterated supply. So this is how I'll call to the end of this today's discussion, because I know, I mean, we are all intelligent, we all understand all the perspective, but it was just a thought-provoking points which I've given to you, that let the government create a infrastructure wherein we could identify who's selling the wrong to us, who's selling the rotten to us, why the supply chain is so rotten. That's what I want to identify. And that should be all for tonight. Thanks everyone.